for the district. This is our first year doing this just because our program is growing and growing more and more every year. So I'm just going to be here just about 15 minutes, quick sit and get. So our purpose for today is just so you know who to go to in your building for help should you have an ESOL student in one of your classes. Just kind of understand what our program does. Thank you. And then how to request interpreters or translators for parent-teacher conferences or any sort of meetings, special education meetings, anything that you need, any paperwork, we can have translated for you. Because we have about 88 languages in our district, give or take. So some acronyms you may hear. ESOL is the program. Then EL is the English learner. And then LEP, you might hear this when you hear administrators, counselors, staff going over MAP, EOC data. So this was our enrollment at the end of this past school year that we just finished up. Elementary's on this screen. I had to break it down because there are so many now. But direct students are students that are seeing, they're working with the ESOL teacher in some capacity. Monitor are the students who have scored well on the federal assessment that they take every year. So they don't work with the ESOL teacher, they just check in with the classroom teacher or in secondary, the comm arts teacher to make sure that they're doing okay, they're successful. And then NRC is they've either waived or they, in kindergarten, because kindergarten's kind of its own special beast, those are students who did really well on the screener, but we're required to give them the assessment in January, February. So at the time, we hadn't received our access scores as the test that they take. So I would say probably about 50% of those went into the program and the others were taken out, didn't qualify. So here is middle and high school. And all of our elementary buildings have an ESOL program except for Daniel Boone because there's no students out there. Some of the elementary buildings have 2 teachers. In middle school, the centers are at Barnwell and at Sager. So there's a teacher at both of those buildings that are also split between 2 of the elementary school buildings. And then for the high school level, all of our high school students go to Francis Howell North. So we do provide transportation for the students, whether it's on a bus, in a taxi, so that they can be in that program. Parents do have the option to waive those services. They don't have to send them. So that's where I step in and kind of help out those buildings where there is no ESOL teacher. So as you can see, even since 2010, 2011, our numbers have drastically increased. So this year we hired 2 new ESOL teachers and replaced some that had retired. So we've got 4 new teachers coming into the program. We now have 16 teachers and several paraprofessionals. So end of last year we were at 641. I know we're already higher than this just because I've seen the enrollments coming in over the summer. So here are your building contacts. So if you look up at whichever building you're located at, these are the people in your building that you can go to and help. You're going to see my name at various buildings because they don't have an ESOL person. So you're welcome to call, email me with any questions about any students that are there. And I know all of this is in Schoology, so you can refer back to this. One very important thing is requesting translators. So we do have a process for this. Infinite Campus has a section under the ESOL tab. It will tell you what language they need and if they need a translator. So you can look that up. Your building secretaries, your BIS can look that up for you if you're not sure. Sometimes it does get overlooked, so if you find that someone does need an interpreter, we can always check that and fill it out. And that way, whenever the district sends out any communication, we know, okay, this family needs a letter in Spanish, this one needs it in Chinese, so we can get that done for you. We've noticed a lot of times there may be one parent that speaks English, the other one another language, so it's not necessarily, they don't always need the translations. Also, those your building ESOL teachers are going to be a valuable resource for you. They'll know who needs it, how often, what type of information will help you. All of the translations go through Kaylee Terry here. I listed her extension and her email. And she's going to set up the translation services using the interpreter translator form. And I've kind of listed the steps on there through HowlNet on how to find that form, but you can also email her, I need to request a translator or an interpreter, and she'll get that set up for you. So just a quick couple FYIs. It is federal law that we provide these translation services to our families in a language they can understand. Now, we say to give it about 2 weeks, give or take. Some languages come in quicker, like Spanish, because it's easier to find a Spanish interpreter than it is, say, one of the Indian dialects. So make sure you give it some time, and the parents are good. They know, they understand. We're helping them. Parent-teacher conferences are the busiest time of the year for our interpreters and translators. So you'll want to request as soon as you can. I know each building does it a little bit different. Some, the parents sign up at open house. Other ones, the teachers set up the schedules for them. So as soon as you know the time, or if you want to go ahead and set up your time ahead of a schedule or work with the parents, as soon as you know, request that translator so we can get them in there for you. And again, your ESOL teachers in the building are going to be the biggest support, the biggest help for you. Of course, go to them first. And if they're not sure, feel free to contact me, or they can contact me at any time. That's what I'm here for. So I just wanted to give you a quick overview today. Did you guys have any questions or anything? Okay. And you guys are welcome to call, email me at any time. I'm always on the email. So we love our students, and welcome.